Yeah. So, yeah.
Them was jokes. We was just fooling y'all.
Yeah, Steven kind of ended the broadcast on us.
Yeah, Steve fucking was like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. I'm out. I mean, burn the motherfucker down behind him. If I can't be on for the next 15 minutes, no one can.
Well, anyway, yeah, if you were tuning in before, I was given some a rousing explanation of Andor. But yeah.
Yes, rousing is certainly a word I would use.
Yeah. So Black Adam is coming out this week. And
wait, hold on. Wait. I'm sorry. You were giving a rousing thing of Andor, and if anybody really wants to know like what the hell we were talking about before, just go watch the fucking 5 minutes we had before Steven kicked us all off. Yeah. You can check it out on like YouTube or whatever, all right? Yeah. You'll understand why we are in like a weird part 2, okay? But yeah, so Andor got locked up for 6 years.
Yeah, he's.
But at the end of the series, is that where he stays until Rogue One?
I think this is like where he gets his like pushes him over the edge for his hate.
Oh, it's where he gets the chip for his shoulder. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes, precisely, Pops Van Zandt. Welcome to the Dorkening Part 2.
Yeah, the only cool part, well, I don't want to say that. Well, anyway,
I mean, you're probably
the only cool part
wrong,
was the credits.
Yeah, my favorite part was when it was over because then I got to stop watching it.
Yeah. So that big robot from Rogue One,
the one that Alan Tudyk voiced.
So they had 2 of those on patrol. There's a stormtrooper.
Were they voiced by Alan Tudyk?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, the stormtrooper is on his own and he yells, "I need droid support!" And these true monstrous droids come walking up, and he says, "I need to go take care of that. Hang on to him." And the droid goes, "Hang," and literally like hangs Andor. And yeah.
Wait, murders him?
Almost. He like chokes him and is like hanging him up by the neck. And Andor yells out, "Tell him you didn't mean hang."
Why wouldn't I mean? What a strange thing for the robot to jump to like immediately when hearing the word "hang." Like, why wouldn't you try to like hang him by his like clothes or something? Like,
well, it's a murder
collar of his jacket.
It's a murder bot, and we know that.
Is that actually what it's called?
Probably. I don't know.
What about us to murder about 5,000?
Sounds like something from fucking Futurama. Isn't that like
exactly?
Zach Brannigan sent like they gotta send wave after wave of men. It turns out they had a preset kill number. Every 10,000 men they killed, they just shut down. Baby, it'll blow your mind.
Oh, I love that series.
Whatever it is, I'm prepared to send wave after wave of men to get to them. Gentlemen, I've made it with a woman.
Champagne.
If it's a lesson in love, look out. I have a very sexy learning disability. What do I call it again, Kif? Sexlexia.
Hey, William.
Hey, William Pace.
Yeah. So why is the internet all... I know it's DC haters, but this whole...
Okay, I mean, I don't want to get into like thinking there's some sort of weird conspiracy.
No.
But it is a very Coke and Pepsi mentality. And human beings, we are creatures of habit. So considering that Marvel has been a consistent presence for over a decade now, anything that's going to be not Marvel is going to be met with considerable resistance. There's that in workplaces, especially, like there is it's a very real psychological thing for people who have been there for a decent amount of time, and it's resistance to change. You form habits, how you operate on a day-to-day basis, the people that you do those things with, what have you. And if something changes to shake up the status quo, likely in the name of like productivity or trying to like engage more people, they don't want to do it because it's just different. And that is what it boils down to. And I think that same thing happens when you start looking at rivalries that are fabricated within fans' minds. One thing that we've seen on both sides of the business fence here for Marvel Studios and DC Films is that very rarely has anyone actually like talked smack or given a crap at all about any of that stuff that's in these movies or anything. And they're the ones getting paid millions and millions of dollars to do it. And they still just like, yeah, they're movies. Like we're all supposed to go and have fun, and that's what we want you to do. I will definitely and readily admit that DC's films have been wildly inconsistent, and that was not helped at all by the initial approach to the stories themselves by Zack Snyder in Man of Steel. That set the tone, literally and figuratively, and there's some good things that came out of it, and I think a whole lot of bad. And what we've been dealing with over the past few years is, we all know, like they're resetting the course. They're trying to get the ship in the right direction, and there's been a lot of growing pains, especially because they wanted to run before they could even crawl. But with Black Adam, I mean, we know for a fact that Dwayne Johnson has been trying to get this movie made for a decade.
Yeah, more than that. I read it was 15 years.
Well, it's close to it. I mean, his name was first mentioned around 2006 or so. But yeah, like it's been a long time coming, and the guy has been right there saying like, I'm gonna play this character for all this time. Like he's been actually passionate about it. Do I think that translates to like, oh my God, Dwayne Johnson's gonna give us the acting performance of a lifetime in Black Adam? No, I do not. However,
it'll be one of his best.
It might be exactly for him. I think it'll be an interesting turn because he was a heel for so long in wrestling, WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it. He was a great heel too. And a lot of what we've seen of him in movies has been him as a good guy. He's always on like the right side of things. And for him to be able to step in with Black Adam and play what is essentially now an anti-hero and was originally a villain, that could play out in a very intriguing way in this movie, or setting up to move into more movies, not just Black Adam, but like the DC universe as a whole in movies. But yeah, people are mixed on their reactions and reviews.
Yeah. Well,
I don't care about their opinions. I just want to see it myself and then form my own opinion.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like if I see one more person that's like, "Oh, Rotten Tomatoes is gonna like 50 blah 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 percent," I'm like, "Yeah, well, what's funny is I've never had a conversation with Rotten Tomatoes. I've never seen a movie with Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes and I have never hung out and just watched shitty movies all day. Rotten Tomatoes gave Sharknado a fucking fresh rating. Don't tell me I should listen to Rotten Tomatoes when it comes to the movies I want to see. You cannot take all the nuance of not just a professional critique, but just like a conversation between a film goer, just a general audience member who happens to love movies, and so much that they felt the need to come and tell you about what they felt or thought about such a particular project. Yeah, don't tell me to drop all that nuance, squeeze it all into a fucking metric that just falls on a percentage line. That's fucking insane. Like, oh, well, it's got a 52%. What does that mean? Okay, so slightly more than half of the critics that commented on it think it's all right. It's a glass half full scenario. Which side are you gonna fall on? Are you taking that as like, oh, half of them liked it, or half of them thought it was not good?
Or half of them are idiots.
It just boils down. No, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I do think informed opinions are the best ones, and open-minded people have a tendency to be more constructive with what it is they're commenting on and with.
Well, yeah, but you have to admit that a lot of these reviewers go in with a penchant for, oh, I'm gonna find the worst out of this, and I'm gonna,
Well, no, I don't even know that it's necessarily that. I think it's they make assumptions. The one word that is constantly and consistently applied to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the movies and what have you, is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're so fun. They're fun. Those are fun movies. Great. But what does that mean? Fun it has become a nothing descriptor. What's fun? How it encompasses a lot of things apparently. And that's all well and good, but fun is subjective. Fun is a different thing to everybody. Luckily, they've hit on enough similarity, like enough characteristics of things that people can agree upon that they, for the most part, enjoy, and that's why they've been so successful. But after a while, listen. I love, original Trident, but after buying a fucking box of it at BJ's Wholesale Club, I kind of grew a little tired of it. And I was like, maybe I give Spearmint a try now.
Actually, on a similar vein, I was on a green tea kick for a long time. And
Green Tea Kick, that's that punk band from Boston.
Yeah, no? Yep. For the longest time, it's pretty much all I was drinking. I was trying to switch away from coffee, and during Christmas, like Megan's entire family decided to get me green tea, so I had boxes of it. I drank so much friggin' green tea, it came to a point where it literally tasted like raw fish. My mind just like one day shut off and said, holy shit, you can't drink that again ever for the rest of your life.
On a completely unrelated note, I also decided to stop storing my salmon next to my already prepared green tea in the refrigerator. I don't think there's a correlation there. Yeah. Just felt like I should mention it, though.
Well, I did drink it at work, so
don't use the same spoon that I made my tuna salad to stir my tea. Maybe it could have been something. I'm not 100% though.
Stop getting my tea from the fishmonger. Just
I made it at work, so you always have that work person that like like microwaves like fish for lunch and whatnot, and yeah. I hear somebody.
Well, if it isn't fucking Zool, the destroyer of worlds.
Way to put me
your
on
destructor.
Yeah, way to put me on blast, asshole. I saw that repost of the stream. And for the record, I'm really sorry about that. It's not my fault. My boss kept me hostage at work, so.
Yeah, but you're the one that
my brain just told me, listen up, this will only take a second.
Hey, I have a job to do, and that's be here. So if
the other part of your job is to not cut off the stream.
Yeah.
It's just like Ghostbusters where they say don't cross.
You see the big red button that says end broadcast.
Well, this is what happens when you don't fucking train me on it.
I thought we were casting broads.
Dude,
I think you want me to stop that.
You had your own version of StreamYard before I brought you on.
I never used it.
You never used it?
No.
Okay, so maybe use it, before you use it.
I'm sorry. I'm fired, aren't I?
No worries, dude. I mean, honestly, like, we got over it pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah.
More than anything else, is like, yep, all right, we'll just. Leo was like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna start another stream. I'm just
sorry about that. Really, I am sorry, guys.
But now
no, we started off and Leo tried to like be like, oh, so we said a little thing about Andor, but how about this? I'm like, no, you finish that shit. You totally get what he fucking gets thrown into a prison. Like, if anybody has to figure out what we're talking about, go fucking watch the first part on YouTube. We were on for like 7 minutes. Steve cut us off by accident, and we're back. Yeah, Andor, and that's where we went.
So what did I miss in the past 5 minutes?
We were tearing apart aggregate site Rotten Tomatoes because it's fucking stupid.
You mean you were tearing it apart?
No, we were agreeing on the fact that it's not really.
Steven, I enjoy DC movies. I don't hate them just because it's DC.
Wait, DC movies? Oh, I researched the wrong stuff. I thought you said we were talking about dick movies. Yeah, my bad.
So
I'm taking all these Kevin Spacey ones off right now. See, I went a different direction than you thought. Hello.
I'm gonna go see it on Friday myself.
It comes out Friday?
It comes out Thursday.
Oh.
But okay. Thursday is date night, so I can't go then.
Well, tomorrow's Steve's live stream.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just tune in and hit end broadcast.
I was going to extend the invitation to you.
I don't want to be that guy, so I'm not gonna. But
I extended the invitation to everyone, but only one person responded. So, maybe. But
I wanted to do it, but Thursday is also my date night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we know.
we do. Oh,
I have no dates.
Oh, the camera is working in my room now? That's fantastic. Yara's gonna be thrilled.
No. I mean, you private messaged me saying you couldn't.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, yeah, I'll be there, and then I was like, no, I won't. I looked at what day it is.
I know you and one other person that couldn't be there that want to be there.
Hey,
I know
Charles.
That want to tear up the new Halloween movies. So,
ask Jeff because he saw it and said it sucked.
Which one? Who?
Jeff from Still Toking.
Oh, I'll ask him then.
Yeah. Reach out to him because he brought it up during our last episode. Which Brandon, I don't know if you saw who the guest was.
Yeah, actually, I was getting ready to comment.
Ransom.
It was Kay Callan.
Yeah,
played Martha Kent on Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. She was also on the show Carnival on HBO, which is one of my all-time favorites, even though it was unceremoniously canceled after the cliffhanger of season 2. If you ever get the chance to watch it, I highly recommend it. It's
she was the eldest Thrombey in Knives Out.
Yeah, she was the old lady that was in the
Ransom.
Oh yeah. I think I only saw Knives Out once because like it's a fucking murder mystery. You don't need to watch it more than once. Like once you know exactly who did it, what's the fucking point?
I watched Clue a million times. Knives Out.
That's different. That also Clue was made with like 4 different endings. So technically speaking, what could have happened, and this might have happened.
Well, Clue was also the one where you had to go to different theaters to see the different endings.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly fucking tiring. I would just be like, "Did you see the other ending?" No, me neither. All right, I guess we'll just wait. We'll wait to speak to somebody who lives in Michigan. I suppose.
Hey, Tom.
Movies were also out in theaters longer at that point.
That's true. Yeah, you could be like, "Oh, we just saw Clue last month, so you want to go see Clue again? It's still playing."
Do you remember back in the 80s, movies were in the theater for like a year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, but
yeah.
And now movies are.
I mean, you also have to think of VHS used to be like $90. Yes. So that's why now we're out in theaters for so long.
And now movies in the theaters are like only out unless they're a big blockbuster, are out for like 3 weeks.
45 days.
Yeah.
That's like the ceiling for everybody because of streaming now.
Perfect example. We just reviewed for our January throwback movie review. We reviewed Ready to Rumble, and it's regarded as one of
the
David Arquette.
Okay. And Scott Caan, right?
Yeah.
No, that's the Jackie Chan movie, right?
No,
you're thinking of Rumble in the Bronx, Leo. Let Steve talk.
So it was only out for 3 weeks, and each week the box office numbers got worse and worse and worse.
What?
Yeah.
No way. Sorry, it's not a good movie.
No, it's not.
It's not. I saw it, and that's all I can really say about it. Because I like to think of myself as having a decent memory, and by the time I finished watching that movie, I was just like deleted. Like I would just remember that I saw it, and that's good enough for me. Yeah, I couldn't even remember David Arquette's last name at the beginning of this. Like,
yeah, when you use your movie to promote on WCW to have David Arquette win your world title, that's when shit goes down the drain. But I digress.
Stream one.
What else are we talking about, guys? We just talked.
No, we were getting into Black Adam. I think that's how you pronounce that.
Yeah. So along with that, Walter Hamada has officially left the building.
Yep.
And with him leaving, a bunch of news has been following. Apparently, the news reports are saying that he was responsible for Henry Cavill not coming back as Superman. He did not want Henry Cavill as Superman, from what I've read. Dwayne Johnson went against his decision and went to the execs in order to get Henry Cavill back.
I mean, honestly, I've been seeing that it was the higher ups. I didn't see that it was Walter Hamada specifically that was holding Henry Cavill back, that like fired him essentially. But either way, like what a weird decision. I mean, how do I say it? On one hand, I'm like, why would you do that? On the other hand, though, if they were trying to truly separate away from the Snyderverse insanity, then it makes perfect sense, because recasting, moving away from that and focusing on other stories where you could kind of let that continue to fall into the rearview mirror and just gain some distance until it's a speck. Yeah, that's the right move, but there's smarter ways to go about doing it. And honestly, I had a very strong feeling that Henry Cavill was going to be back.
Yeah.
Only because when Discovery and Time Warner merged and became Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav straight up said, like, we have Superman. Why are we not making great Superman movies? I don't understand it.
Exactly.
And the second I read that, I was like, okay, this guy like clearly understands, like, you have a character that's been popular for 80 years. And honestly, the issue with anything that was in Henry Cavill's movies where he played Superman was nothing about Henry Cavill. If anything, one of the issues with Zack Snyder directing him was, how do you take a guy who's like that handsome, all right, like, let's be real, like, he's a good looking dude, and that naturally charismatic. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen him outside of those movies, but like, he's a nice guy. Like, he's a nerd. Yep. And he's very got a very dry sense of humor.
He builds his own computers.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, he seems like a decent fellow, and very much in line. Like, oh, if Clark Kent were British, he'd be a bit like that, And to take that and tamp it down to be in, to turn him from Superman into Satterman, I'm good. Let's do away with that. And it's interesting because Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife is also his agent and Henry Cavill's agent. So he had clearly been working on pushing this for a while. And I think he likes Henry Cavill as a person.
Yeah.
And that was, aside from the idea of this happening on the big screen, I think he genuinely was like, this dude just like got a raw fucking deal. And I don't like that. I get that. I get that feeling. Like he saw how hard he worked and he was just pushed off to the side. And one thing about Dwayne Johnson, he's always like, you know, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. I think it rubs him the wrong way to see people actually put in all the work and basically given nothing for it. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of that goes because of his own family and his own personal background in the world of wrestling, because that's unfortunately too common a tale.
Well, hopefully, according to reports from Zaslav, he wants to get Superman back into theaters ASAP. So apparently,
so do the rest of us. Just do it the right way.
Exactly.
From what I
go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, from what I've read about this movie, you might get it in a few days.
Which movie?
Black Adam. Yeah, guys might get in a few days.
Get in like one day. But I mean, are you talking about the
yes.
Spoiler?
Yeah.
It's already.
I may be banned from Reddit, but I do know things and I do peruse other things besides Reddit.
Yeah, no, I know.
You do realize you can create another user account on Reddit, right?
What?
Yeah. This is coming from the master that has 30 Reddit accounts right here.
I don't have 30 Reddit accounts. I have 2, and one of them I barely use.
One of them I barely use to harass people anymore. What was that last part, Leo? I said I barely use it. That's what I said. That's what you heard, right? Okay.
Yep. So you mentioned before about like Marvel and DC talking about how like Marvel took off, and I know
it's listen.
Well,
Marvel hunkered down and said like, hey, listen, we are serving you Coca-Cola. It's a secret recipe we have, and you're gonna love it. And everyone, it was like they were all living in Atlanta, and they're like, Coca-Cola, sure thing. I'll pay 5 cents for that glass bottle. Let's do it. And they've been drinking that for 10 fucking years, and it's great. And then somebody else just like right next door is like, hey, we got this thing we call Pepsi, Pepsi-Cola. We think it's pretty good. You want to give it a shot? And some people are like, I don't know. I don't know. It's okay, but I like Coke a lot more. And then other people came over like, you know what? I think I'll stick with the Pepsi. And then you start to have a clear division. That's exactly the same kind of thing. There's barely a discernible difference. It's the same shit. It just becomes a matter of personal preference and weird allegiance.
Well, I totally get that. But also, you know, Marvel seemed to have more of a plan, like right from the beginning, you know.
Listen, that is revisionist.
Hold on. Hear me out. Even at the end of Incredible Hulk and Iron Man, you had the post-credit scenes expanding the universe, whereas like in DC, you had like not Matt Reeves, who did the Bale Batmans.
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan, you know,
the world's greatest director.
Which is a completely separate thing from like
It's after Dark Knight Rises is what's they're counting.
Well, I'm saying that like, you know, DC was more segmented. You know, it was like, okay, this director's vision.
Blade.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That's
the Ang Lee Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. We don't talk about the Ang Lee
Point made.
We're not talking about Ang Lee Hulk, please.
Yeah. Thomas Jane's Punisher.
Oh yes, we all were punished, weren't we?
That little short film he did a few years ago called Dirty Laundry just wasn't enough. Give us more Thomas Jane as Punisher.
No. That was exactly the right amount of Thomas Jane as Punisher. Actually, for my own taste, that's the right amount of Punisher, generally speaking. I did not watch the show on Netflix, and that's not a knock. I like John Bernthal. Yeah. I do not care for the character of the Punisher. You know, I agree. I think it's great that other people really dig on him. That's awesome.
I don't think it's good that cops do. Just saying.
I said people. Oh, I'm sorry. There are probably nerves that I struck out there. Die mad about it.
There's a ton of news on the list, and I'm sure you guys have your own stuff. But James,
no, I'm a blank slate, tabula rasa over here, baby.
James Gunn pitched a super secret project apparently with DC.
it's about super people, so it's super secret. Get it,
Yeah.
Gang? Oh, you probably can't see me if you're just listening. Wink. There we go.
So we know James Gunn likes, to make awesome stuff out of like odd
offbeat characters, we'll say.
Like, how much you want to bet? Maybe
Ambush Bug,
Squirrel Girl.
Except
Marvel.
That's Marvel.
Oh, it is? Okay, never mind.
Matter
Wow.
Matter Eater lad.
No, please. I mean, to have James Gunn do Legion of Superheroes in the fucking 31st century, that is, I mean, I'm 40, so I don't know where to find psychedelic drugs, like psychotropic drugs anymore, but I'm pretty sure I need to fucking track them down. It's like, that would be batshit insane. It really would. I wouldn't be surprised if he had an interest in Ambush Bug, though. Ambush Bug is a fourth wall breaking character from DC Comics.
Or Plastic Man.
Oh, Plastic Man.
Oh, that would be good.
No.
No.
I don't think James Gunn would be good for Plastic Man.
No.
I like James Gunn a lot. I feel like
Plastic Man, so.
I like Plastic Man as well. I just feel like somebody who's people who might be able to be a little punchier without it being fully like R-rated.
Yeah.
Do you think it needs to be a group, like another group, or?
Well, here's the thing: I don't want it to be a group because that's what we've seen James Gunn do with superhero stories. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Suicide Squad, even Peacemaker was about that crew. So I would like to see him actually tackle an individual character. Obviously, there's going to be like supporting characters for whoever the main is, but yeah, I feel like having a singular focus and being able to actually follow an arc would be great. But that might be why he gravitates towards groups, because you don't have to flesh out too much of one person in order to have the story go from beginning, middle, and end. And I understand some people say, well, that's what he did with Peacemaker. It's like, kind of. He did that over the course of a series, though. That's considerably longer than a 1.5 to 2 hour movie. And therein lies the problem. In a 2 hour movie, you have that many people, you can give quick little chunks of stuff, and it makes sense because just by the nature of bouncing around, people understand inherently they're not going to get a whole lot of time devoted to any one of these individuals before them. But James Gunn, I like him. I think he's very talented, and I'm more than willing to check out what he's going to do. It doesn't matter. I mean, unless it's like Matter Eater Lad, I won't check that out. Like from the planet Bismol, really? He's from the planet Bismol. You get it? He can eat anything, and his planet is named after Pepto-Bismol. This was in the 60s, gang.
Abysmal planet.
That's good too. I like that. They definitely named it after the fucking pink chalky liquid. Fucking so terrible. The other thing too is with everything happening, I guess J.J. Abrams projects that he had lined up, the Constantine and Zatanna led shows, as well as the Superman project that he was producing that Ta-Nehisi Coates was writing. I've still seen people commenting like, oh, well, they're done, so I guess no Black Superman. And like for the billionth time, no one ever said that it was going to be a Black Superman. And I think it is wildly stupid and ignorant that so many people assumed because a talented black writer was the screenwriter, that meant that Superman was going to be black in the story. Like, maybe, and I've said exactly this, maybe Ta-Nehisi Coates had the best idea for a Superman story out of everyone else who pitched one. Like, that's what writers do, gang. They imagine scenarios and then they put them on paper.
Yep.
You know, I think Ta-Nehisi Coates probably had a really fucking interesting approach to Superman, and I was really like curious to see and interested to see what he and J.J. Abrams were gonna do. But listen, if it means not recasting the character and we get to keep Henry Cavill and let the guy actually have fun. And let me rephrase. Be joyful in the role, to show Superman enjoy what he's able to do when he does it. I think that makes a world of difference for their approach to these movies moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't think Henry Cavill could have been convinced to come back if he weren't given some measure of guarantee that that's the approach they're going to use for Superman and Clark Kent moving forward. My one thing is, please just recast Lois Lane. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I agree. In other DC news, rumblings are that Matt Reeves is meeting with writers and directors for Batman spin-off projects, possibly Scarecrow, Clayface, and Professor Pig.
Oh, thank God.
And the Penguin series that's going to be, I think it's starting to film. Apparently, the setting is going to be taking place 6 hours after the Batman movie. Which
I'm getting real specific with that shit now. This takes place exactly 39 minutes after Falcone was shot. Like, if you time it from that scene in the Batman to the beginning of this,
that's how long it took him to get arrested.
Oh yeah, definitely recast.
Oh yeah, for sure recast Lex Luthor, and the first person who says Billy Zane will get slapped.
Mark Zuckerberg. Oh wait, that was the same.
Listen, you want to know who my
he's already real life.
Oh my God, we got to talk about Mark Zuckerberg. But
my number one pick for Lex Luthor for a while, like, this is just my own thing. Ever since I saw him, I mean, I've seen him in so many things, but the particular look in Better Off Ted was Taye Diggs. Like, I saw him with the shaved head, a purple shirt, the fucking sharp suit and everything. I was like, and just charismatic as fuck. And then thinking of him in like other movies where he's just like devious and backstabbing, like The Way of the Gun, written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who is the person that they're looking at to write and direct Superman, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
If you've never seen The Way of the Gun, Taye Diggs is in it, and he plays this henchman to a mobster type. Everyone in it is excellent. Everyone: James Caan, Juliette Lewis, Ryan Phillippe, Benicio del Toro, Jeffrey Lewis. And what's really cool is Jeffrey Lewis, you'd recognize him if you saw him. He's like James Caan's friend in the movie. He actually is Juliette Lewis's father in real life, but James Caan is the one playing her father in the movie. Yeah, it's such a good flick. I highly recommend it. Christopher McQuarrie. I already was a fan of him just because of The Usual Suspects, but after seeing The Way of the Gun, I was like, oh, this dude, like, he knows how to craft a fucking story. And I've long been on like the train of like, let that dude do whatever he wants. He did what was it, Rogue Mission or whatever the fuck it was for Mission Impossible? What was that?
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. Wasn't that the one that Henry Cavill was in?
No, that was Fallout. Fallout.
Okay. I don't know. I don't watch those fucking movies.
Oh, he's been doing the past couple ones. So he's doing the Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2. I think since Ghost Protocol, since Rogue Nation, which was after Ghost Protocol, Christopher McQuarrie's been doing. So it was Rogue Nation, Fallout, Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2. Those are the ones he's done.
So McQuarrie wrote Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh,
He
Makes
did
sense.
he did the screenplay for Top Gun Maverick.
well, yeah. I mean, Tom Cruise
So
and he have been
Tom Cruise is
friends
gonna
for a
be-
while.
Yeah, it makes
Uh,
sense.
I believe they first worked together on Valkyrie, which
Hmm.
was based on the true story of Nazi high command officers plotting to kill Hitler because they were like, this has gotten way out of hand.
It's a good
uh,
movie.
Usual
I
Suspects.
mean,
Yeah, The Usual
so like
Suspects.
all you need is kill better than this film Edge of Tomorrow. Though Edge of Tomorrow is still not a bad movie.
I love
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow.
I'm a fan.
Mission Impossible. There's a 2-parter coming out. Dead Reckoning.
Yep. Dead Reckoning comes out next year, and then Dead Reckoning Part 2 comes out the year after.
Okay, yeah. So he wrote Fallout and he directed Fallout. So he worked with Henry Cavill before.
Yeah.
He was responsible for the mustache in Justice
Yes.
League.
Yes.
You son of a bitch.
I know it would never happen, but he did just a fabulous job as Lex. I would love to see Michael Rosenbaum come back, but
Yeah,
I know
but he
I
wouldn't.
know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's a pipe dream.
Yeah. He is doing. He has an excellent podcast, by the way.
Talkville and Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, because he just recently started a second one with Tom Welling.
Yep.
Where they talk about their experiences in each episode of Smallville.
Yeah. And that show where he played a preacher.
Oh, Imposter.
Impastor. Oh
That
my
was
god,
funny.
yeah, that was a good show.
That was one of the driving reasons that Michael Rosenbaum left Smallville too. Is he actually? I remember reading a thing where he said, you know, when I started acting, part of the reason I wanted to do it is because I loved being embodying comedic characters. I loved my grandmother and making her laugh, and that was one of her favorite things, was to watch funny movies, funny old movies, funny new movies. And I really wanted to get back to the reason why altogether I wanted to do this. And I respect the hell out of that. You know, that he was like, I want to go do purposefully funny stuff. Like, and I think that's part of the reason why he was so fantastic as Lex Luthor, because he's somebody who focused more on trying to do comedy, and it's those folks who actually know how to encompass or display like a wide range. Anybody who's funny can be serious in a role, but somebody who's serious doesn't necessarily have the ability to be funny. So I can say honestly, after seeing Impastor myself, he's a fucking riot.
Oh yeah, totally.
He really is. Like that dude should be a bigger name than he is. He should be in more stuff and not just known for like the best Lex Luthor ever in live action.
Yep.
And I include Gene Hackman in that statement.
I know we mentioned Zuckerberg just real quick. Gotta say, fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
Do I have to? I mean, I'm married, man.
But I can't be happier for the guy, because apparently Meta, I saw something where it had, I think, a total of like 60 concurrent users, and they've spent, I think, from what I read, I think it's something like $14 billion on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
with the new inflation hike going up, I wonder how it's going to be adjusted for inflation.
That's all I got to say about that.
So, hopefully this turns out to be a huge flop, and hopefully fingers crossed, it takes down Facebook with it.
Wow, buddy. That's a lot of resentment.
I mean, it probably
Holy
won't happen. That probably won't happen, but
probably won't. No. It generates too much revenue.
For the record, Kanye West has a better chance with Parler than Facebook currently right now.
Yeah.
You mean than Zuckerberg does with Facebook?
That's a scary thought. Parler also.
I mean, any time nowadays that somebody invokes Kanye's name, it's going to be a scary thought.
Yeah,
true.
Well,
I've said it numerous times on this podcast. Like, I want that man to get the help he needs so badly. I really do.
He's buying it, apparently.
He's such a talented dude, but like
they messed up the email. Instead of BCC, they CC'd the people. So a bunch of other people's emails got like leaked because.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
Just wow. Bang up job, kids.
so I'm assuming none of us has tried Meta.
No.
No.
I've seen it about it. I just kept living
Isn't
my
it
life.
Facebook and Instagram? I mean, what the fuck?
No,
else?
no. It's
like
a
the
new,
Quest and
yeah, it's a virtual reality version of Facebook where you can
Oh no!
you can
If
walk around and
Have you seen most of the people that use fucking Facebook and Instagram and
I
shit?
wouldn't want to
They
rock them,
already
man.
live in their own virtual reality. They don't
If
need
I-
another
That's
app
not
to
a
do
neighborhood
that.
I want to visit. Just saying.
if I want virtual reality, I'll watch The Lawnmower Man.
Dude, there's so many other better things you could
know,
watch
yeah.
than that.
you
Having to do, I would rather watch Virtuosity than The Lawnmower Man.
Yes.
Or, I'll watch Existence by David Cronenberg, starring Jude Law and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
or get a PlayStation VR headset.
I mean, I have that too.
Yeah.
I have been both Batman and Iron Man.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
s-
Oh, nice.
Or I could steal my girlfriend's mom's Oculus.
Oh, hey,
Which is-
real quick.
it called?
Speaking
Owned
about
by
that
Meta.
shit.
what's
So-
that you do?
Which is owned by Meta.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
Facebook bought them. So
No, never mind.
That's
Never
why.
mind.
That's why I'm
Eject,
going
eject,
with a
eject.
Yeah, good job, Steve.
That's why I'm going with the HTC. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Like
That's Facebook free.
Saying the Iron Man thing real quick about PlayStation VR. I did play it. It's awesome. You get to like fly around and do shit. It's pretty cool. I'm just gonna be careful of getting tangled up in the wire. But I will say, like, we were talking about the sort of incongruity for the success of Marvel versus like the mediocrity of DC films. And to say like Marvel had a plan like from the beginning is bullshit. That is revisionist history. They fucking made so much shit up on the fly and they lucked out hardcore with the Avengers when it came out.
I'm not saying there was an overall like
You did say that though.
I said that there was a plan in place, but it's
It was not though. Samuel L. Jackson was brought into the end credit sequence for Iron Man as a little joke, wink, nudge, nudge to the fanboys, and they tacked on that Robert Downey Jr. scene in The Incredible Hulk because they were like, oh well, maybe we could do something with the Avengers, and it made absolutely no fucking sense, and they literally had to make a one-shot short movie to
explain why,
to retcon why that happened. Like they were flying by the seat of their pants, all because Jon Favreau thought it would be funny to have Samuel L. Jackson after the credits in Iron Man. That's what it all boiled down to. And I mean, we're 28 movies into the MCU now. That's great. Like I'm glad it worked out for the Infinity Saga. The jury is still out on everything else.
The thing is that the dominoes definitely fell in the right spot. I'm not saying one is over the other. Marvel, DC. It's just that they've left themselves open for more connectivity, as of where DC tried to be more siloed.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think the nature
but they
of
also saw money and were trying to catch up to get money. I mean,
which
I can't blame them. Money is nice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, once the House
It's
of Mouse
useful.
was attached, I mean, the rocket was strapped.
Yeah, but
Speaking of the 2008 Hulk, I forgot the actor's name.
Eric Bana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Eric Bana.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
Okay, that's the incredible. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, 2008.
You said Hulk, not the Incredible Hulk, so my
Yes.
brain just.
Yep. Apparently, he almost made it into the finale of She-Hulk.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
As like his character from Fight Club, because that would have been great.
That
Hey
would.
guys, I just got back from my first meeting of Fight Club, so I don't know what they were talking about, but it was an awesome Fight Club, and I highly recommend you check out Fight Club.
I want to pick your brains. What did you guys think of?
There's only one rule in Fight Club, guys. I just said it like 5 times.
What did you guys think of the finale of She-Hulk?
Loved it.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the entire series, like the
Yeah,
entire
same.
season.
It's just the ending where she encountered Kevin. and it was just not only breaking the fourth wall, but she broke the eighth wall and the 16th wall. It just kept going, and I freaking love that.
Still could have broken it down a bit more. I mean, I like how she called out the tropes of the movies.
Yeah.
It said like, oh, this happens every movie. And that's true. But you know what else has been happening in every Disney Plus show for the most part? A god character breaks down everything that is happening to a lower tier like Marvel character, like somebody who's like on our level or whatever.
Oh, they didn't mention the 8-episode run that they have.
What If, Loki, She-Hulk. I mean, Kevin is a god character when you get to the end of it.
Yeah.
He controls everything.
Yep.
Did Kang create Kevin? Or
no, it was
did Kevin exist in that reality and Kang utilized the same technology as Kevin to be able to rewrite reality as he saw fit to make the one true time, the sacred timeline?
You blew my mind.
You're welcome. I've had a lot of sleepless nights recently, so that one's for free.
Insomnia is a bitch.
Yeah, ADHD, kids. It's not just for fun anymore. It's a waking nightmare.
What else happened?
Lots of stuff, Leo. Things happened.
I know.
I know. Yeah.
Obviously, none of you are watching House of the Dragon.
No, I do not. I do not care about Hot D.
I'm way behind the fucking 8-ball of Game of Thrones.
You don't need to watch and a matter of fact, I don't recommend you watch the original series. Just watch the new one.
Yeah. Pin all of your hopes and dreams on this one.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. You haven't. I mean, it's a show about dragons. It's not like you haven't been burned before.
Well, I'm enjoying it. So.
Yeah, you said that for the first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pulling up my list that I sent. So for one thing I wanted to mention, obviously, I don't know if you guys know about tech review shows. In the early 2000s, there was a channel called G4. Got canceled.
Before G4, it was Tech TV.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
It was Tech TV, and it became G4. So it was canceled in 2000.
Attack of the Show. That was the
X-Play. It was canceled in 2012 or something like that. But then
shut down. It was a network, so it was shut down.
So after numerous petitions and pleas and everyone fans of the old G4, last year they said, yes, we're back. And they, I think it was just like a network, like an online network, and it was on YouTube as well. That was strike one. Strike two was 6 months into it, one of their hosts, I don't want to say it without pissing Brandon off, but
No, go right ahead.
She wokeified the show.
No, she fucking didn't. No, she fucking didn't. I fucking went and read an article after I fucking saw some shit that you wrote, okay? And she did not wokeify it. She fucking called out the toxic fan base for all the goddamn misogynistic bullshit that was going on in that quote fandom. I fucking read 2 opposing viewpoints, one by the Federalist and another one by a fucking person with a goddamn brain and compassion. All right? And I'm telling you right now, all this fucking get woke, go. Name me 3 fucking companies that went broke because they went, quote, woke right now. Name me 3. Okay, no, name me 1.
DC?
No, that's absolute bullshit. No. I'm being serious. Name me a company that went, quote, woke and then went broke. I want to know. Because people started saying this shit when Colin Kaepernick took a fucking knee. And they started talking all kinds of shit about Nike and burning shit in their fucking backyards. Shit they already paid for. And started chanting this bullshit. I'm wearing Nikes right now. Almost every pair of fucking sneakers I wear is exclusively Nike. Didn't stop me from fucking buying them. I'm just saying they got woke. No, I checked the shit out because I needed to know why people were saying this. And she spoke out against the fucking objectification of the women that used to be on G4. I saw the shit that was mentioned in the article covering this whole issue, that it is fucking horrendous how Olivia Munn was objectified on that shit.
Oh yeah, totally.
Absolutely fucking horrid. So if a woman standing up for other women who have previously been on the network she's on, and also calling out a quote fan base because she literally reads the same exact script that another male co-host reads, and no one says boo to him, but has nothing but bitching to throw her in her direction. Yeah, that's not indicative of a problem she has.
Wait, are you talking about me?
No.
Oh,
no, I'm talking about G4 and the woman's name. I can't remember her name because it was like from Killer or something like that. I can't remember it.
No,
but
I was just
I'm just saying, like, this whole thing about like they fucking did it to themselves. You know, they did it to themselves not because of what they said and how a lot of toxic fanboys got pissed off about it, but toxic gamers. It's 2022, and you don't need a cable network to do the same shit that YouTube and countless other accounts on Instagram and TikTok have been doing for the past 7 years. Frost. Okay. Thank you, bro. Pro.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah. And keep in mind, I mean, they should have started like small and started as like a content company, you know?
Yes.
But you got to keep in mind that, you know, a lot of gamers, it's a toxic fan base, you know, you have a lot of what's the term, simps.
I don't know the term.
Yeah, incels, Gamergates.
Gamergate. Yeah, that's probably there's a similar movement in comic fandom.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I just learned something new. I didn't even know these terms.
Yeah, like I cannot recommend never going to boundingintocomics.com enough. Yeah. Never visit that site. They are fucking terrible.
And this is all a you know, a larger issue. You know, you have and I'm gonna say the wrong thing, but a lot of gamers.
Go ahead, I already did.
Well, I mean, I'll yell at you too. I don't give a shit.
No.
I wasn't yelling at you, Steve. It's about the situation.
I'm really sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I wanted it to happen. I read up on it because I knew it was going to.
Because I wanted to get under your skin, Brandon, because in the chat you said if I said it, it would drive
to Connecticut and fucking dope slap you.
I left the door unlocked for a reason.
Steven, just whatever you do, don't hit the end broadcast button. Okay?
For the love of God. Oh, so that ends the broadcast.
Yeah.
No, the words on the button make sense now.
And Yo-Yo, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this because I know you're the big techie of the group. You know, but it's just the gamers themselves. It's just you have this small group that are overly loud, that are, you know, misogynistic and just like hate women for some reason. And it's just
they can't go on Twitter and speak their opinions without having to have fake people making death threats, making threats to rape them, making threats against their families, their kids.
That is why I have stopped since 2020. I have stopped making comments on Facebook. And I have a great story about this. Not to cut you off, Yo-Yo, but I am so pissed off about everyone just, you know, people just. I make one comment on. Bye, Leo.
Oh, what the hell? Keep going, Steve.
I make one comment in 2020. I just voice my opinion about a certain political official. And then there's like 20 or 30 comments calling me a snowflake, a left radical, a right-wing nut job. I'm just voicing my opinion. And, you know, like what you like, don't be a dick. but everyone was being a dick. I was just voicing my opinion, and that's why to this day, I don't, unless I'm among a group of friends, I only voice my opinion or, share stuff with a group of friends.
Well, Steve, I don't know if you want to continue saying what you're saying right now, pal, because I'll blow up your fucking spot. I'll fucking do it.
No, it's just
I'll find it. I'll fucking have receipts.
No, I don't comment on news stories or anything
yes,
like
you
that.
Do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You commented twice on one thing. The same comment as both yourself and your podcast. I saw it because we were both members of the same group.
Oh yeah.
And you want to know what your comment was in
I know.
G4 News? What was your comment, Steve? What was your comment? Steve?
I'm not going to piss you off again.
No, Steve, I already know. I want you to say it. What was your comment?
Get woke or go broke.
Oh, no, get woke, go broke. That is what you said as both Steve and your podcast. So you do comment on stuff, and it's certainly not anything that somebody would call you a left-wing radical for.
Well, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I backed myself into a corner on that one.
Yes, you certainly did, sir.
Okay, well, let's change the subject.
Listen. I understand, especially if you're mired in a particular community, like a fandom community and stuff. But what happens is when people get insular within it, and they find their comfort zone, their bubble, anything that is inclusive, trying to bring in as many people as possible. One, because these are businesses and they want everybody's money, but also it really is supposed to be open for anybody to partake. It can be seen as a threat, and I understand it because this has been my safe place and my escape from the world, my escapism. If you enjoy going to the public library and hunkering down with a book in the same corner every day after school, all right, that's great. That's your form of escapism. But if somebody else starts showing up and standing next to the desk that you read at in the library, and they're just kind of constantly tapping their pen as they're looking for a book to read, and it starts distracting you, then yeah, it doesn't keep you from doing your thing, but it's different than what you're used to, so you're gonna get fucking pissed about it. And that's kind of the same thing on a grander and more twisted scale, because we have no connectivity on a face-to-face basis, and that allows us to not see anybody else as an actual person. We start turning people into objects.
Yeah.
And objects primarily are just things that are in our way. We don't want to do that. We don't want to start seeing other people as things that just prevent us from doing what we want. It's about learning. You want to, if you first start a game years ago, you're online, you don't know any of your friends have this game, so you go on there, you want to join a crew and go on a quest. You have to go and put yourself out there, and that's really what the whole thing is supposed to foster, is this camaraderie amongst people and working together and having fun as a team and just doing the thing. And some people took it a little bit too much to heart, and it's become a more toxic thing than it was ever intended to. I think anybody that calls out some of the shit that has gone down because of, whether we're talking about Gamergate or, Hollywood, whatever, you know what I mean? Accountability is accountability. And really, nobody owns any of this shit that they're all trying to gatekeep and what have you anyway. People getting up in arms because a woman rightfully calls out, this quote fan base because of how they treated and regarded at least one other woman, but pretty much every other female host in the earlier days of G4. That's the right thing to do. And for her to say it's too bad that I'm not here to let you objectify me. that's not why I'm here, and I'm not going to just sit here and take it. That seemed to rub people the wrong way. If it rubbed them the wrong way, good. But it's unfortunate that it affected the viewership even more so than just the fact that it was redundant in today's market.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I was trying to say. But
it's certainly not a case of her standing up for herself and other women, and that's what shut down the network. It's primarily like 95% the fact that any of the stuff that you want to see that they were doing on G4 with this new iteration, you could find 17 different channels with 3 letters you start typing in the search that cover the same exact stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
been doing it in the absence of the network.
And a fraction of the cost, where they're trying to rely on the name and putting money behind it. You have these YouTubers starting out with very little cost. But the whole, landscape, lately has changed anyway, with the pandemic, people have gone a little nutso and, being cooped in and everything. And then I don't know where I'm going with this. Never mind. Forget me. It's late.
Don't back yourself into a corner, Leo.
No, I'm not backing myself into a corner. I was just trying to say
his train of thought derailed.
Yeah, it did. I derailed myself.
It suddenly became the Denzel Washington movie Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Good movie.
So what do we think of Sacha Baron Cohen as possibly Mephisto?
I mean, if you were cast as Mephisto, that might be something. Sure. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, Marvel's throwing me for a fucking loop at this point because
isn't Harrison Ford going to be in the MCU now?
Harrison Ford as
Thaddeus
Ross.
Yep.
That I think they should let the character of Ross rest, because in Civil War he said he had a fatal heart attack, not a fatal heart attack, but near fatal heart attack.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
They should let the character just. That actor was great as Ross. Harrison Ford, I am really sorry, but he had his retirement with Star Wars, and he's going to have his retirement with Indy 5. He said it at D23 that it's his last one. The Last Crusade should have been his last one. That's just my opinion. But as him as Thunderbolt Ross, I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is, Harrison Ford has had Millennium Falcon doors crushed on him. He's crashed multiple planes since.
I was saying the same thing. The dude broke his fucking leg while shooting The Force Awakens.
Yeah. So I don't know.
They're going to use Secret Invasions to introduce this concept, aren't they? It's going to turn out that the Thunderbolt that we knew was a girl.
The thing is,
this is what's going to happen.
He's 80
That's what's
going
to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, he's too old for this shit.
They're going to introduce him like that. That's what's going to happen.
But here's the thing too, though, and this occurred to me the other night, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm just looking at it objectively, okay? Objectively, from my standpoint here, Marvel's over here, and just to observe, it's like, so William Hurt passed away after a fight with cancer.
Yeah.
And therefore, his character of General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross has no one to inhabit the role in the MCU. So they've decided to cast, inexplicably, octogenarian actor Harrison Ford to take over that role. Okay. Weird, but okay. Them's the facts. However, Chadwick Boseman played T'Challa and then died after a fight with cancer, and they decided to not recast him because he passed away from cancer while he was still playing the role of T'Challa.
Yeah.
I personally have no issue with anybody being recast in any of these movies if need be. I mean, I watched Terrence Howard in Iron Man and then Don Cheadle in every other Iron Man in Marvel production as the same character after that point. Okay? I don't think it would have been a big, like, terrible deal if somebody else had taken over the role of T'Challa in the Black Panther movies. I actually think that would have been an incredibly good and fair thing to do with all the kids who fell in love with the character of Black Panther after that first movie, especially. Like, never mind Civil War, like, they actually got more of him and Wakanda.
Who do you think would, if they did?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't have the wide net that Marvel.
I think that might have been their issue, though. Like, they kind of shot themselves in the foot by killing off Killmonger.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's
they could have given him a redemption arc, and he could have taken the role, but they kind of killed him. So
I mean,
that's the problem Marvel has anyway, is they keep killing villains. Like, how can anyone have an arch nemesis if you don't let them live past the movie they show up in?
I mean, in an alternate universe, we're having Killmonger as Creed and Kang as his rival in Creed 3.
Yeah, it's, but what I'm saying is, like, it's just odd that the situations are so similar. Now, granted, I know Thunderbolt Ross wasn't like the main character of a movie or anything, but we are talking about a character who is pretty important to the Marvel universe, altogether. And we know from the comic books does end up becoming a Hulk. He becomes Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So there is a lot that they could be leading up to with him moving forward. It's just odd to see the different approaches to the situation that was fairly similar.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might not have understood initially, but my standpoint straight up, like, I know that we're adults and we love watching this stuff and talking about it, but I also remember what it was like being 6, 7, 8 years old and seeing some of these movies that we had back then, like, few and far between, and how big a deal it was. I think it's heartbreaking that there was probably so many kids, boys and girls out there, that saw Black Panther and, like, just thought that T'Challa was, like, the coolest character. Like, they really connected, and they don't get that ever again. They never get that character again, because the studio was just like, no, we're never going to recast it, because I said this much online in a discussion, and somebody came at me with, like, oh yeah, well, how come they refused to cast Superman after Christopher Reeve died? And I'm like, what universe are you living in? Like, I don't know what you were babbling about. Nicolas Cage literally had a fucking suit try on for a Tim Burton movie. I've seen the photos. It's just, they did a lot of kids really wrong, man. And that ultimately, I feel like, should be like the torch you're looking to pass. Is this is like the new generation of new fans of these characters, and to think that T'Challa is going to be kind of a footnote in everything else moving forward in the MCU until they can do a full-scale reboot, it just sucks. Chadwick Boseman was a great actor. I actually don't think that Black Panther T'Challa was, like, his best work. I really don't. Like, he was not the most charismatic individual, and certainly, like, not the most interesting one in his own movie, but he did have a quiet nobility. He really did. And I think he let that role speak volumes.
And it did. That role, I think, really called for it. And I mean, Black Panther still stands up as a phenomenal movie, and one that can totally stand apart from the Marvel universe on its own.
Yeah.
I know we are running a little late. I just wanted to make sure we brought up one other thing for a somebody else that may be recast, and this really warmed my heart when Steven put it in the chat. But they would have to recast 2 people from the original movie since they passed. But it looks like we're getting a Twister sequel.
Oh, yeah. You guys can talk about that. I've
So
no opinion.
I went down the rabbit hole with this. I wanted to know more. Apparently, Helen Hunt might be attached to this. I know where you're going with this, Leo. Yeah.
Do you
Bill,
really?
Oh, Bill Paxton, right? He was in it. What?
Bill Paxton and Philip
Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But Sean Whalen, on his Instagram or on his Facebook, said that he hasn't been approached yet, but if he was approached, he would jump on the opportunity.
Yeah. He went to a con recently.
Oh yeah, well, that makes sense because he's so busy otherwise.
I don't know if he went to a con or if he was
Isn't he still teaching?
Last time we talked to him, yeah, he's still teaching.
So yeah.
But
he showed up in Ghosts last year in like the pilot episode on CBS.
Yep, yeah, Ghost. Also, what was that Cloud9 show? Superstore. He was on Superstore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I worked retail for far too long to like watch past like the 3rd episode of that show. I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
You got
I got out of retail and I don't even want to watch a fucking show about it. I don't even want to walk into a store. All right. I want everything brought to my doorstep. Fuck.
I remember what Leo was about to say. He was at a convention in Kansas and he was in his outfit from Twister, and the lady with the glasses was also there too, and they did like a recreation of a scene. Which
when was this? What year was this?
A week ago, 2 weeks ago.
No.
Yeah, I remember him posting that pictures of the outfit.
What? Yeah. Where was this? What convention?
Leo.
I don't know the convention. I just saw his pictures and I'm like, holy shit! That he still looks like he's he hasn't aged, you know. But I absolutely love the movie Twister. I've watched it so many friggin' times. As a matter of fact,
there are other movies, right?
Yeah,
okay, it is such a fun. It's such a fun.
You know, I wanted to just throw this out there because I'm a music guy, along with a movie and video game. Hence Super Retro Throwback Reviews. But with Twister, the soundtrack was one of the first soundtracks I ever bought, and that's what got me into Van Halen. And Van Halen's song "Human Beings," which you hear in the movie when they're going through the cornfield after they leave Wakita, to go after the F3 tornado. That song in the Van Hagar era was the last song.
Ugh, what a terrible era.
That they wrote together before they broke up, and then we got the Van Sharon era, which no one talks about.
Steve, what does this have to do with Twister?
Can I get if there's gonna?
I'm sorry, did I just hear the words "my Sharona"? What?
Fuck off, Leo. I'm trying to get to it. So if they did a sequel to Twister and they did a soundtrack, have another band, current band, a rock band, on the verge of a breakup, Five Finger Death Punch, and have them do a song, and then break up immediately after. That's just my pipe dream wish.
Okay, Twister does not need a rock song. It just needs.
Yes, it does. That's the best part of the movie.
Listen, just play Weird Al Yankovic's fucking Beastie Boys pastiche Twister from his album Even Worse and call it a fucking day. Granted, it is about the fucking Milton Bradley game where you tie yourself up in knots with a fucking floorboard.
I mean,
but they say the word Twister so much, it's the same thing.
Just hearing Eddie Van Halen shred, it's like up there with Eruption and up there with Fire in the Hole and up there with Panama. It's like right there in the Equinox.
Okay, so I've watched Twister maybe 30 times. Way too many times. And
I would have said twice was too many times, but yes. 30 is indeed too many.
Yeah, maybe like you talking about there being a rock song? I can't even tell you what song it was.
They were going through the cornfield. They left the grandmother's house, and Cameron from Ferris Bueller says, "Rabbit is good, rabbit is wise." That song,
Alan Ruck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the song that played for like
2
10
minutes.
seconds.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Yeah.
A song that played for 2 minutes. That's like most of a song for the most part, right?
Oh, it's a 4-minute song. They tried. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I know that's like a quarter of the length of like American Pie, but Don McLean, like, don't even get me started on some of the shit by Wu-Tang. But regardless,
I just wanted to throw that out there because, you know, I'm a music buff. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, I'm a Twister buff, and it doesn't need to rock.
Well,
it just
I'm
needs.
a Weird Al buff, and I stand by my statement. Yeah, spin the spinner and call the shots. Twister ties you up in a knot. Twister, yeah, Twister from MB. There you go. There's your.
Okay.
It's like Dream Warriors by Dawkins for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Fuck yeah.
So Brandon, you've seen Twister, or you're never gonna watch Twister?
I saw it once
Okay.
many moons ago. I finished it and I was like, well, fiddle dee dee. I've seen that now.
What about you, Yo-Yo?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Can't say I've
Sounds
seen
like
it recently.
Yo-Yo and I are on the same page here. Like, yeah, it was made.
Not gonna ask me.
You've seen
know
it.
you've
You
seen
were just
it.
talking about
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Alan Rock listen to a fucking song 43 minutes into the movie. Yeah, you've seen it. We know. Leo's like, I don't know. Brandon's not talking about this movie. It's like, because I have nothing to say about it. Like, a cow in the wind.
Yeah.
So I think, what is it? Is his son's acting now, right?
Yes. No, I was thinking of Timothy Oliphant. No, I don't know who's if Bill Paxton's kid is acting. No, I don't know. Sorry, when I see Timothy Oliphant in Live Free or Die Hard, I immediately think of Bill Paxton because he sounds like Bill Paxton in that.
Okay, James Paxton is his son.
Okay.
Good old Jimmy P.
I mean, they were saying that the plot of this movie would involve the son and or daughter of the Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton's character. So that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And having Helen Hunt like
okay, bring the daughter in as the newbie, and you have Sean Whalen's character as like the old Twister whistler now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then he has to teach her to roll the maps.
No, he's now upgraded where he grabs the dirt and he sniffs it and he throws it into the wind.
Jesus, man. There's a character that actually causes cyclones in Black Adam, and her name is Cyclone, which is a synonym for tornado, which Twister is slang for. So there's that. I got nothing, honestly. Like,
I just want them to acknowledge the tire.
Why?
Because it always bothered me from the.
It's a fucking tire. You get on my ass about Van Hagar and their final song, and you're going on about a fucking tire for 30 seconds.
Well, listen, if you don't have all your tires, you can't drive 55.
Oh.
Because it's a Sammy Hagar song, get it? I need a soundboard, damn it.
Okay. On that note, we should wrap things up. Unless you guys have anything else you want to cover before we hit the button.
I don't know. Did we cover what we said we were gonna cover altogether? I mean, Black Adam.
Halloween ends, but we'll save that for tomorrow.
Oh hell, that fucking yeah.
Right, Brandon, give me your 2 cents because I know you won't be a part of it tomorrow.
All right, Halloween ends. I will very briefly say this. The movie that came out in 2018, which ignored the franchise after the initial offering by John Carpenter. All right. It basically goes from the first movie to 2018, ignoring everything else in between. I was fine with that. We get to the end of 2018. I found that to be a very fitting and satisfactory end to the story of Laurie Strode and Michael Myers all together. If they had left it at that, 2018, Halloween 2018 would be now and for many, many years after, I guarantee it would be the high watermark for the horror genre in particular, but for long form storytelling on how to end a story all like with a resolution and leaving it alone.
Yeah.
Giving it its space and saying, this is the tale we told, here's the ending, and moving on, leaving a franchise to die gracefully. Instead, with kills, then followed by end, a real 1-2 punch, all Halloween 2018 now and forevermore will be, is the setup to a 3-movie punchline.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where I'll leave it. I won't take up any more time. You were there, Steve, when I saw Halloween Kills in the theater.
Yeah.
And I was not happy. And ends, I mean, okay, whatever. Ends, let's hope. Promise. That's all I got at this point. Please.
That's a teaser for tomorrow, everyone.
I will say my favorite Halloween movie is Part 3, Season of the Witch. I mean, I'm literally wearing the fucking mask shirt and everything. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, everyone.
Well, on that note, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got a ton of shows on the network. There's so many awesome people doing so much awesome stuff. Head on over to thedorkening.com, which you can find all the latest episodes there. And we'll kick it off with end the broadcast button, boy.
Fuck off, Leo. So you can follow Super Retro Throwback Reviews on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The multi-award-winning Super Retro Throwback Reviews. Tomorrow, for the first time in 2 years, because we've done Super Retro Throwback Reviews live at conventions, we are taking it to your home screen. We are doing Super Retro Throwback Reviews live for the first time. We're rebooting it. We're calling it a live stream. Thank you, Leo, for the hookup. We are going to be ranking all Halloween films from 78 to ends, worst to best. Don't know who's going to
specify, Steve. When you say Halloween films, you mean the Halloween franchise?
The Halloween franchise, yes. So
I want people like tuning in, hoping you talk about like the worst witch starring Tim Curry.
It'll be broadcast on the Dorkening's Facebook. It'll be broadcast on ours. It'll be broadcast on our Twitch, our YouTube, our Twitter. So make sure you follow us on socials. The link is in the show notes, and become a Patreon backer. Just show up tomorrow. I'd really appreciate it because I'm going to be doing this once a month, and I got something cooked up for next month. So,
tell me what you have cooked up for next month, because if I have enough lead time and it's something you want me on, I will be there with fucking bells on, dude.
I would like you to be a part of it. I'll let you know.
Oh, it turns out I'm busy that day. Never mind. I'm just kidding. I would be there in a heartbeat, bro.
Yo.
I'm Yossarian, I guess. No.
I love you, dude. Every time. I love you. That's great.
Follow me, Yo Saint Laurent, on Instagram. That's where I'm doing most of my stuff nowadays. And yeah.
Cool beans. Powerful Brandon.
Yo, bro. You kill me every time. I love it. It's just simple and elegant. Just like you've been here for an hour and a half. You know who I fucking am. fucking do a Boolean search. You'll figure it out. I love it. Hey, everyone. I'm Brandon Powers, a.k.a. Powerful Brandon. Come on over to the Powers Combined Facebook group. We're just a bunch of dorks to get together, share memes, info, good times, and fun to be had by all. Our number one rule is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, you will be booted immediately. If you want to follow me on the socials, I'm on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and Instagram as this Brandon Has Powers. And you can find me aside from every week here on the Dorkening Wednesday night program on two podcasts that switch off bi-weekly. One is the Dork Night that I co-host with Justin Cooper and Leo Pond, in which we discuss and dissect all things Batman. And the other is Comics Paradox, which I co-host with Leo and Justin as well, in which we discuss what ifs, else worlds, alternate reality takes and tales from all stretches of comic bookdom. We also will be covering story arcs like Amalgam or Age of Apocalypse, Heroes Reborn. One of the cool ones we did recently. I can't wait for the episode. Actually, did it come out? The Sentry? Did we do that one? Did it already get released?
I believe so.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a fun one. We went through the whole miniseries of the Sentry, where he was introduced in the Marvel Universe. That was the first non what if or else world that we did for the podcast. But yeah, it's great. And if that's your jam, especially with like all the multiverse stuff that's coming out now, turns out we had our finger on the pulse, eh, Leo?
Yeah.
Just come on over and check it out. We have a lot of fun, and if you feel so inclined, you'll reach out, comment, let us know what you might want to hear about. We'll definitely consider it while we make a completely different decision. But come on over and check us out. It's a lot of fun, and we look forward to hearing your feedback.
Awesome. That we'll catch you guys later. Bye. The
Bye, everyone.
Simulation.
Hit end broadcast, Leo. That's how you stop it. Steve,
Wait.
Steve can give you pointers if you need.
Denise.
It's the red one that says end broadcast.
I got
I know. If it were more clearly marked, it'd be easier.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Bye.